right. Good morning and happy holidays to everybody. It's Christmas Eve. I hope everybody, is in the Yuletide spirit. Good little discussion here in reference to what's unfolding at 135 pounds. Few things I want to discuss, but I'm going to let the list populate before we get into any of that stuff. Gonna wait. We're gonna wait. A couple of things on my mind that you know, a couple of burning topics, couple of burning issues. Virtuoso was good, Emma was good, Martin was good, Michael was good. Uh, I saw Rick Ramos. He was congratulating Jessica McCaskill for winning Fighter of the Year. I believe it was with Boxing News. I'm in agreement that she deserves a Female Fighter of the Year for the year of 2020 because comparatively, nobody got a bigger win this year than her win over Cecilia Breakers. So that pretty much seals the deal. That would have been that win in men's boxing would have been tantamount to like I don't even know, like that would have been like if Loma moved up and beat Crawford or something at 140 pounds or something like that, because that's more or less what happened. Jessica moved up from 140. She took on Cecilia at 147. Cecilia had never been beaten there. She was the undisputed champion there for like 6 years. She was a champion longer than that, but she was undisputed for like, I think it was either 6 or 4 years, or some wild amount of time. She had like 24 title defenses. She was only one away. No, I think she had 25 already, and she was only one title defense away from breaking Joe Louis's record. So it's a huge win compared to what everybody else was doing this year. It was great fights this year. Don't get me wrong. It was great fights this year. Like Jonas versus Harper was a great fight. Courtney versus Ball was a great fight. Katie beat the heck out of Gutierrez. It was great fights all over the place. But as far as who got the biggest win, that's really Jessica McCaskill by far and wide. That it would have to go to her, because beating Gutierrez ain't the same thing as beating an undisputed champion, right? And Terry and Natasha, they had a great fight, but their fight ended in a draw. I appreciate that, George. They had a great fight. It was a memorable fight. Like, that's a fight that's probably one of the best advertisements for the sport. But there was no outcome because it was labeled a draw. You see what I mean? So when you go down the list of fights that took place this year, what you're going to see is that nobody's win, nobody's singular victory is on the same scale as Jessica beating Cecilia. So, I look at her as Fighter of the Year. So, there's that. And that's how I feel about that. I don't think too many people that think that through are going to disagree. I don't think there are very many people that if you sit them down and you got to think about it and analyze it, I don't think it's going to be that many people that disagree that, yeah, Jessica does deserve Fighter of the Year. Now, as far as Lomachenko and Lopez, my stance on that really hasn't changed. I won't attack Teofimo if he never fights Vasyl Lomachenko again. I won't attack him, but I could already see that, I can already see what's starting to happen, that, it's people that want to see a rematch, that they want to see a second fight. And I know how it looks to them, too. That's the other thing. I know how it looks to them because this is a very different era than one that I grew up in. I'm going to let a couple of people in on this to see what they think about it. But the main thing for me is that I'm not opposed to a rematch. I'm not opposed to a rematch because I have seen rematches in fights that didn't need a rematch. Like Leo Santa Cruz versus Abner Mares, that didn't need a rematch. This is Jesse Hart, too. That didn't need a rematch. Stevenson versus Fonfara, too, really didn't need a rematch. Wilder versus Ortiz, too, didn't need a rematch. So, if somebody told me tomorrow that they made a rematch between Lomachenko and Lopez, given everything that's being said and everything that's going on, yeah, I'd watch it. So I'm gonna get everybody's opinion on this as to whether or not that's something that they want to see. Do y'all want to see the rematch? I'm about to post the link in the comments. And when y'all come on, you let me know if a rematch is something that you actually want. Not just, oh, well, I'd watch it, but do you actually want to see a rematch? I appreciate that, Daniel. Merry Christmas to you and yours, man. Merry Christmas to you and yours, bro. Yeah, Mano, I had it that way. I did. But there was a swing round, and you could have swung that round to Lopez. You could have. You could have swung it to Lopez, and then it's 7-5. So, I mean, that's why I didn't complain. I didn't complain when they said Lopez won the fight, because the way I looked at it, I had at least one swing round. And with that, it could easily be 7-5, Teofimo. So, All right, I'm going to start with Mark. Mark, do you want to see a rematch between Teofimo Lopez and Vasil Lomachenko? Not just if it came on, you'd watch it, but do you want to see a second fight?
Well, first of all, happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas Eve, Goose. Big shout out
Thank you.
to everybody. Thank you for having me on, Julius. No, I don't actually want to see the rematch. It's not something I'm particularly that fond of. I know Sean's going to be waving. It sounds like why not? My main reason why not is because I want to see something new. I want to move on to the possibility of actual undisputed. Lomachenko, he didn't want the rematch clause, so that's his own fault. I'm not a big proprietor of rematch clauses in boxing anyway in championship fights. I think we should, especially if it's not for full undisputed, I think we should move on to the undisputed fight. Teofimo became lineal that night, even though I personally scored it a draw, which would normally tell you I feel it was competitive enough. I wasn't actually too entertained by the fight. I found it quite boring for the first 6 rounds, and then by round 10 it started to get kind of exciting, and then there you go.
So Mark doesn't want the rematch, Virtuoso. Do you want the rematch?
Yeah, I do want the rematch.
You
I
want
feel
the
like,
rematch?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Even though Loma was inactive for the first 6 rounds, I think the latter like six, were really competitive, and the controversial, scorecards, were atrocious. But hey, I scored it a draw the second time I saw it, and I think controversial decisions in boxing begets rematches, in my opinion.
All right, now I'm gonna go to Sean. Sean, do you want the rematch? Like, not just if it comes on, you'd watch it, but do you actually want to see a second fight?
Of course I do. I mean, I'm a Lomachenko fan, and I had Lopez winning the fight,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So I actually thought he did win the fight, but that doesn't take away from the fact that obviously a Lomachenko Lopez 2 fight will be bigger. It'll be past the pandemic. It'll probably be per view, and we'll see really how good Lomachenko is. We'll see what kind of adjustments he can make and see what he can do. It'll obviously be a big thing of both of the fighters.
Mm. Mm. Okay. So I'm gonna pass it over to Dan. Dan, do you want to see a rematch? Like, do you want one for Christmas?
Good morning. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all the panel and Julius. Yeah, I do. I think Lomachenko came in with a really bad strategy, and then he figured it out that it was obviously not good from like about the 7th round on, and then it started getting exciting, and he started kind of dominating Lopez at the end of the fight a bit. So if he'd have done that earlier, it would have been a much better fight. I had to fight a draw myself. I think it warrants a rematch because I don't think we got the full effort from both fighters in that fight. So
I want.
I definitely would love. I would love to see a rematch. I would watch it for sure.
I want to go around
Um,
the panel. I want to go around the panel, and I want to ask. I'm gonna start from the top, make my way to the bottom. Mark, does the shoulder stuff, did that ever mean anything to you, or you? Because it doesn't mean anything to me. I have to preface everything I'm about to say with that. It doesn't mean anything to me. There's no excuse. You accept the responsibility of what happens as soon as you decide to fight. So it doesn't mean nothing to me. But as far as understanding the performance, understanding why he didn't throw for the first half of the fight, do you believe the shoulder stuff?
I think there's a possibility like his shoulder was injured and stuff, but it seemed perfectly healthy in the 11th round.
Yeah, that's the other thing, though. That's and that has to be reconciled. That okay, if you're saying that the reason you didn't throw for 6 rounds was because your shoulder was messed, I could believe that if you weren't throwing in the last leg of the fight.
Hey, who knows? Maybe that's when his medication finally kicked in. I don't know. Me personally, I feel most fighters go into every fight they're in injured one way or another. It's impossible to escape injuries when you're sparring and you're training to that level to get yourself into shape, to get yourself to be the best you can be. Most fighters do carry niggles and injuries anyway, so I've always been a believer in that. So I don't appreciate somebody blaming a loss, or well, not blaming a loss, but insinuating the possibility you weren't able to do anything or giving away the fight for the first 6 rounds was because you were injured. From what I know, Teofimo had a foot injury too.
Yeah, I
Sí,
mean,
sí, estoy de acuerdo.
I look at it as a case of causality, that maybe the guy actually was injured. I don't dismiss that, because fighters are often injured, and because it's a pre-existing injury. It's just that for me, that doesn't lessen Teofimo Lopez's win. It doesn't lessen it. Like, it doesn't discredit it. Like, bro, you still decided to fight, right? And you decided to fight because you thought you could win, and you didn't. So yeah, you probably was injured, and maybe that's why you didn't throw. But that doesn't take away nothing from what he did, because you still decided to fight. Virtuoso, what do you think about the injury?
I gotta say, man, I think Loma showed a hell of a fucking poker face if he was injured. Um, I didn't see any signs of wear and tear from him. I just saw. I thought he really didn't really apply himself to try to get to Teofimo's guard for the first 6 rounds. I mean, yeah, I think I gave him the second round, right? But he picked it up the activity in the the last half.
Yep.
So I don't understand where this excuse comes from. I don't buy into it. Sure, if you're injured, okay, whatever. But you still decided to fight. So I'm agreeing with you guys. That I don't really see anything wrong with them at that time. That's just me.
I tend to feel that he felt the fight slipping away, and he decided to throw even though it hurt. That's my interpretation of it. Maybe I got a different one, but I feel like he knew the fight is slipping away. You're gonna have to do something different because you just cost yourself the first half of the fight. You got to know that. There's no way you could have thought at the end of the 6th that you're up on the cards. There's no way. It's not possible. So that being said, in an act of desperation, he probably decided to start throwing even though it hurt. That's how I look at it. Maybe y'all look at it differently. Sean, the injury, what do you think about it?
I agree with you guys. I mean, injuries are part of the sport. He apparently had the injury before getting into the fight, not like the Linares fight. Linares, he injured during the fight, right, and had to adapt. This fight, you went in knowing you were injured. So what was your game plan? You're going in one-armed, so obviously you have to have something in place, some sort of plan. And when obviously it's not going your way after the first, I don't know why you wait 6 rounds before you make adjustments, but obviously you have to have a backup plan. You have to have another thing that you're planning on doing. And like you say, I think at the point he decided that he just had to go for it and bite down on his gum shield and just start throwing, right? And that's why he was winning those rounds, but very reckless, getting caught a lot in the exchanges as much as he was landing punches.
I'll say another thing about it is the scorecard, and I am not done with the injury. I still want to get Dan and Marcos Maidana. Shout out to the champ, Marcos Maidana. I still want to get their take on that. But the scorecard, let's just finish the injury thing. Okay, Dan, the injury. What do you think about it? Not a lot. I guess that's his answer. Marcos Maidana.
Buenos días a todos. Pues yo estoy aquí presente con el favor de Dios.
All right. Enough of the grab ass and Lomachenko's injury, quote unquote injury, I should say. What do you think about it, Marcos?
Bueno, primero que nada, lo que yo vi de Lomachenko era que estaba un poquito intimidado por la pegada de López, más o menos como me pasó a mí con Floyd en la primera pelea. La gran diferencia es que Floyd supo resolver a tiempo la situación de mi ataque constante con un contragolpe preciso, pero pues lo que vimos es que Lomachenko se intimidó completamente por la pegada de López. Ahora lo de
Let me
lo de
translate. Let me translate. Marcos
okay.
is saying. Marcos is basically saying that what the reason that Loma was so economic in the beginning was because he was wary of Lopez's counterpunch. That's why he didn't throw. That it was strategy. He knew not to throw. If he throws, he's going to get countered. Go on, Marcos.
So, bueno, pues yo creo que lo de el problema en el hombro de Lomachenko, pues yo creo que sí fue algo ahí, allí en el hombro, pero aún así no sé que vaya a cambiar mucho en la revancha. Lomachenko ya está en sus mid-30s y Teofimo pues es muy joven. No sé si vaya a cambiar algo en la revancha, si vaya a haber un cambio de estrategia. En Loma no lo sé.
All right, he's saying he doesn't even know what Vasil Lomachenko can change in a rematch because time's not on his side. He's in his mid-30s. Lopez is a young guy. He does think there was something to the injury, but I mean, he better still. And that's where I am with it. That it's possible that it could have been both. You don't want to throw right early in a fight while Lopez is fresh because he can counter you. His reflexes are sharpest at the beginning of the fight. That with the shoulder stuff, that would explain why you costed yourself the first half of the goddamn fight. When have you ever seen Vasil Lomachenko go out there and not throw for 6 rounds? Never seen that. So it could be all of it that, like, yo, he had to respect Lopez's power, his quickness, his counters. Because if you open up too much in the beginning, yo, he'll probably knock you out.
Possibly.
Now I want to ask, I'm gonna start at the top. Do you think if there is a rematch, do you like Lomachenko's chances? Let's start with Mark.
I do like his chances. I personally think he'd beat him in a rematch. I think he kind of like as he grew into the fight, he figured it out. I think the biggest problem he was dealing with was the pace of Teofimo's jab being flung and coming back. I think he wanted to dip and duck under the jab, but how quickly he was reloading it and offsetting him, he couldn't deal with it. But as the fight progressed, he started to figure it out and he changed the angles he was coming at. And I do think he'd win in a rematch.
Chances in a rematch, what are they as far as you're concerned?
I go 60-40.
60-40.
Loma, 60-40, yeah.
All right. Sean, do you like Loma's chances in a rematch?
I can only base it on his career so far. When he came through tough times and lost in his amateurs and in his pro career, he always came back a better fighter. He learned, he improved, and he pushed his level up. At 33, the question is, can he still do that? We know he did it in the amateurs, went to beat the guy multiple times in revenge matches. After Salido, he picked his game up, became a 3-weight world champion, beat Gary Russell, Nicholas Walters, Rigo, and a lot of great fighters. But now at 33, is he still going to be able to make the adjustments and adapt to a young, hungry Lopez? And at this point, right, I mean, can he adapt? How much can his body adjust to a new style? What kind of things can he do to actually improve? But that's the point. I mean, I want to see if he can do it.
All right. We're going to go to the cat. Cat.
Okay. Yes, I think Loma has a chance, but I'd pick Lopez because Lopez is the fastest, the strongest. He doesn't have like the best defense, but he's a great counter puncher. So I'd like Lopez's chances. I think Loma has a big chance too. But if I got to, put some money on one fighter, I'd go with Lopez. I think Lopez has all the tools to beat Loma again, even stop him late.
Does the cat like Loma's chances? Dan, do you like Loma's chances in a rematch? Dan is at a loss for words. I don't think he likes Loma's.
Yeah, I do. I think that Loma can come back, and I think he can actually beat Lopez possibly, but it's not going to be an easy fight. And in prelude, there's something going on with my microphone, man. In prelude to the injury, I think the injury was significant, but Loma still took the fight, so that's on him.
Yeah,
but I think he can come back. I think he can come back and beat him.
But that's the view I had. That's the view I have in one sentence. Yeah, the injury might have played a role, but you took the fight. You knew you had the injury in the buildup of the fight, so you took the fight. It is what it is.
Right, but at the end of the fight, Loma showed he could actually beat Lopez because once he started landing, he couldn't miss with that right hand, man. It was just going and going and going, and Lopez was starting to have trouble dealing with that.
I want to ask about the 109 card. I'm going to start with Mark. The 109 card, what do you think about that?
I think it's in my opinion, one of the worst cards this year.
Yeah.
An abomination. Who was it that gave the card again?
That was Julie Letterman.
Yeah, so, not really out of the ordinary. She's given some horrendous cards in her day. Bro, I'm probably in agreement with probably every single person on this panel about that card. Like, everybody's probably going to say the same thing. That's ridiculous. It's just a ridiculous.
I would. The question is, how do you reconcile it? How could you have watched that fight, right? How could you have watched that fight? I don't care if you had Lopez winning. You know that's not outlandish. Outlandish.
I don't know how it's possible to only give Lomachenko one round in that fight.
All right,
that's my problem with it. It doesn't add up because in a couple of the you can go on a section, okay? Don't put your hand up. This ain't class. You ain't in there with the little Taiwanese kids, right?
Coño, hermano.
Hey, calm down, Marcos. Right. I'm not to losing my train of thought, man. I'm not to losing my train of thought. Yeah, how do you reconcile it? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, but because this is the thing. It's very easy for me to look at what Loma's saying, right? And just chalk it up to a case of sour grape. But if I put myself in the fighter's shoes and I'm looking at the scorecards, I'm gonna say 109. You only gave me a round. You gave me a round. You only gave me one round in the last half of the fight. Isn't that cause for suspicion? I'm not saying that he was robbed. In all likelihood, it looks to me like that's a pattern for her. That she's like, yo, you're a shitty judge. You shouldn't be judging boxing matches because you're a shitty judge.
Yes.
It's not the first time that she gave a shitty scorecard. But what does that accent?
I know how to reconcile it. We have whore and Adelaide board in a women's boxing match. Loser leaves town.
Judged by CJ Ross.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Nah, CJ is the worst of the worst. CJ's worse than any of them, man. That's ridiculous.
All right, Sean, 109 card. What just when you hear about the card, what do you think?
I guess it's the state of boxing. When I see that card initially, it doesn't really make much of an impact to me because almost every single fight we see one card that resembles that. There's always a fucking card that's ridiculous. But then when Loma comes out and he talks about, a conspiracy and this and that, I can understand his perspective. But that's the problem with boxing today. There's far too many of these cards. I mean, it's not even close to being reasonable. And literally every time we watch a big fight, there's something similar to this. And, as long as you feel the right guy won, we sort of say, okay, and we let it go. Because there's no point dwelling on it every fucking week.
That's a fair point too, yeah. Because I mean, every big fight that we've seen, at least a good number of them, the big ones and some of the small ones, we've seen some really shitty cards.
Fucking Rodriguez this weekend.
Everybody's telling me about that.
Yeah, that was a fucking shambles, bro. You need to watch that shit, Julius.
Is it worse than the Rolly Romero fight?
This is my own opinion, right? It's worse than that. It is worse than that. I think it's the second worst robbery this year behind Vasquez and Richardson. But it's very close between the two. Very close.
All right, but I got to ask, Mark, if we're going to call the card a robbery, that accents intent. that accents partial scoring, doesn't it? That if a scorecard looks way off, you have to reconcile why that is. And what do we say? We call it a robbery. So why did they rob Rodriguez?
I personally think to drum up interest between two Pinoy fighters, the possibility of Nonito Donaire versus Gaboyo, or possibly Casemiro versus Gaboyo, or Nonito versus Casemiro, because they know there's a massive built-in audience for Pinoy fights.
And Pacquiao, the promoter.
That being said, if we can associate intent with a scorecard that we don't agree with, then when I think about, like, bear in mind, I don't buy into the bribe stuff. I don't, because I think that she's just a shitty judge. And I don't know how, the question is, how does she keep getting work? Because she's a shitty judge. She's like, you shit. Your scorecard.
I think there's always a very strange card in World Championship fights. I don't know, there's always a very white card, and could be suspicious or something, but I think, like Julius said, it's only bad judging.
Your mic went out, Alejandro.
Hmm?
Your mic went out. I didn't hear the last thing you said.
That in World Championship fights, there's always a bad card in the judges. There's always a very white card, and that's something like used to happen a lot.
I get, I guess the thing about it that grabs my attention is if I look at Tim Cheatham's card in the Loma fight, I can understand how he got there. I think he gave Loma 3 rounds, 3 or 4, something like that. Who was the other judge? Weisfeld, I think it was. Was it Weisfeld?
Might have been Weisfeld. It might have been. He's on every fucking card.
And I understood his card. If you look at their cards, they still had Teofimo winning, but you could understand it. You could understand what they had. Her card is like, what the fuck were you watching just now, dog? What are you watching? Canelo versus Chavez? Because you ain't watching Loma versus. You ain't watching.
So I've got the cards right here, Julius. I've got the cards.
You got to understand, man. You got to understand, these judges are in between the ages of 60 to 70 something years old. She was watching 2 smudges behind her cataracts. That's all it is.
Yo, hold up. Nah, she's quite young. She's quite young.
How old is Julie Letterman?
She's not quite young. She's like Sean's age. She's 50. She's 52. She's like Sean's age.
You can have cataracts at 52.
Ooh, she's a spring chicken, 52 years old. Look at her with her young self.
Listen, man, you can have. So now that Tony's here, I want to ask Tony the same line of questioning. Tony, what do you think about the injury? What role, if any, did that have in the fight as far as your?
Well, here's my thing about it, Julius. We saw Devin Haney already get a shoulder surgery, right? Early 20s, okay? I, as you know, boxed amateur, right? I've needed a shoulder surgery for I don't even know how many years. I've just never done it. My point is this. The rotator cuff is not meant to be thrown every single day for hours and hours on end. Every single boxer who's been doing this for years and years and years could get a shoulder surgery. There's going to be some type of bone spur, some type of cartilage damage. It's an excuse. It's BS. I don't believe it. Because anybody could get one if you've been boxing long enough. Now, as far as a robbery goes, I disagree with that. I had to fight a draw, but I would not argue a 7-5 for Teofimo Lopez, depending on how you score the second round. My thing is this. You can't throw 0 punches for the first 6 rounds and claim that you got robbed. Like that's what it comes down to. You didn't throw punches. You lost. Get over it.
And that's my view. That I didn't see Loma win that fight, so that's out. You didn't win that fight. You weren't robbed. The best that you could have got, as far as I'm concerned, is a draw. But if somebody has it, 7-5 Lopez, that could very well be it. Like, 7-5 Lopez, man. You didn't throw. The fuck are you thinking? This is a big fight. This is the biggest fight of your career. You started off by not throwing. So I mean, what the fuck? Like, you ain't get robbed, bro. 109 is weird. It's weird. But
that's bogus. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because, depending on how you judge the second round, it could go either way. I gave it to Loma. That's why I had it a draw because the 12th round was clearly Teofimo Lopez. But I cannot argue with somebody who gave that second round to Teofimo Lopez because he was the aggressor. He threw more punches. They just weren't as clean as the few shots that, Loma got through. So really, all we're debating is it a draw or a loss? You know what I mean? And then when you have that debate, you can't debate that you lost.
Yeah. 2021 should be judged by cats as an experiment. Timekeepers and doctors should also be cats. That's not a bad idea.
Meow.
That's not a bad idea. For having the Julie Lettermans of the world judge the fight, score the fight, might as well have a goddamn cat doing it. Do you want to see a rematch, Tone? Not if it happens to come on, I'll watch it. Do you want a rematch?
So here's the thing, Julius. When I first saw the fight, I had it a draw, like I said, but I figured with the age of, Lomachenko and him being a speed style fighter, speed style fighters as they age, they don't look good as they get older. However, after rewatching the fight a couple of times, I would like to see the rematch now because I noticed that when Loma let his hands go, Tio cannot get out of the way of any of his punches. He got hit by every single down punch that Loma threw.
That's true. That's what I noticed, that in those bursts of aggression in the last leg of the fight, he couldn't miss Teofimo. He couldn't miss him. Everything he threw was a scoring blow. But do you want the rematch though? That's saying that
No.
you don't want the rematch.
I'd like the rematch only if Lomachenko fights Devin Haney first.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. He's got to beat somebody. That's like when he comes back, we know that Lopez is going to go to Australia. He's going to fight George Kambosos, and that's his mandatory. So we can't.
Kambosos, I don't like that guy. He's very cocky. I hope Lopez sleeps him.
Well, he has a douchey haircut, if we're being honest. He has a really douchey haircut, and he's a nice kid. God bless him and his family. Merry Christmas. But he has a very haircut. He does, like David Lemieux's haircut in 2015. That's very douchey. But I like the kid. I like George. He's a big, strong lightweight, and I think it's a good if Lopez can beat him. It's a good quality win because George is not little as far as lightweights go. Like he's not a little guy. He's decent sized guy for a lightweight. But essentially it's Loma, you're not fighting Teofimo next. Regardless of whatever, you're not fighting him next. So why not take care of Devin Haney? Why not go after that fight?
And go for the undisputed, the winner of Loma versus Haney would be the real WBC champ, and go for the undisputed with Teofimo Lopez if he beats George Kambosos.
Look, the main reason I don't see the Haney and Loma thing happening, like I was talking with Bill Haney last night over on Punch Drunk Stream, Julius, right? It seems like the only fight he's interested in is either Teofimo Lopez or a fight he has to take, aka the mandatory. That seems to be the way they're going. So the mandatory would be Ryan Garcia / Luke Campbell winner. The winner of that would be mandatory. So it's either going to be Luke Campbell / Ryan Garcia or Teofimo. They'll not do a voluntary against Lomachenko because remember, it would have to be a voluntary.
That's a good fight. Like I'd like to see Devin Haney versus Masayoshi Nakatani. I'd like to see Haney versus Linares or somebody, or Fortuna.
Yeah, we mentioned those fights, but they didn't seem too interested.
I think Haney beats Fortuna, Haney beats Linares, and beats Nakatani.
You think he beats Nakatani?
I'm gonna be honest though. I don't care about the Lomachenko rematch because I want my boy Ryan to get it and knock Tio out. Because I've been saying for a long time, Ryan Garcia is the truth.
And I've been saying,
Ryan is not going to KO Tio. Come on now.
Stake in the mud, head movement, chin up in the air. That shit gonna get clipped by Tio.
He gonna take an Instagram picture in the ring.
Hold on, go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, Ryan Garcia is going to sleep Luke Campbell and make a huge statement. And he's going to elevate himself huge. But he's not going to fight Devin Haney. And when I listened to Devin Haney interview today, he doesn't sound like he's even interested in that fight. He was focused mostly on Lopez. He's probably going to go towards Tank Davis. That's the fight that they've been really building up. Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, huge pay-per-view. And I think that's the fight Floyd Mayweather would love as well because he could see the marketability in it.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
but I'm gonna say, all right. Oh God, this requires me to say something nice about Javante. Ugh, this feels disgusting.
Gervonta no neck Davis.
He's a good counterpuncher. He is, man. He is, though.
He is a good guy. He's got a beautiful uppercut to the midsection as well, man. Okay, like people, like he does have skills. Some people don't. Just some people talk about all the shit behind the ring, but he can actually fight. He is a good fighter.
He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. I don't like him as a person, but he's a great fighter.
He's a real
Alejandro. Don't great. He's great. No, he's not great.
How do we know he's great if he doesn't fight the best people out there?
Okay, yeah. You're right. You're right. He's a good fighter, but I don't like him as a person.
Look. Ryan's gonna make Tank look like Fonseca. That's what's gonna happen when his little 5'5" frame comes in there against Ryan. He's gonna get a left hook to the face and put to sleep.
Who's going to sleep? Who? Ryan
is going to sleep Tank. He is going to.
Let me tell you something.
I don't know.
That's a very hot take. That is a hot take.
Especially
I had to turn the AC on how hot that take was.
Look. I get that you rate him like that, man. But where his chin is and how long his neck is, man, that kid has Amir Khan written all over him.
Yeah,
he stays too long on his point. I see him getting chinned, bro.
He's also 5'10" and much taller than a lot of these guys, so he can get away with it.
I think Tank Davis' power at 135 is a little bit overrated.
Yes, I see. That's the thing. That's the thing. That if you're telling me that you could see Ryan Garcia getting Amir Khan at some point, I would say, yeah, I see the possibility. But with a guy like Davis, who's got that discrepancy in size, bro, he's likelier to go to Ryan's body than try to hit him up top. If he tries to hit him up top, you trying to lose the fight, then, bro. Don't do that.
I think Ryan's power is overrated too, though. Like, if you look at the dude that he went the distance with, Linares beat the shit out of that guy. Beat the absolute living piss out of him and stopped him. And that was afterwards, right? Ryan, what's he done? Stopped the chinny Duno who'd been on the canvas 7 times in his career? I ain't having it, man.
What about Fonseca?
Oh, come on. What,
I'm just asking, like,
credit for a featherweight?
What's your reaction? See, this is the thing. Remember that we're talking about, I'm not saying that Ryan is a huge puncher, right? So we're not having that conversation. We're comparing Ryan's power, essentially, with Javante's power. They both fought Fonseca. It's not a triangle theory. But I'm saying as far as power goes, who do you think is the stronger puncher? Because Ryan is a lot bigger than Javante. That doesn't
I'll say this. I think Ryan is faster-handed. And that makes up for the. I genuinely believe this, and I think Tank's power is more explosive.
Here's what you got to keep in mind too, though. Ryan's much younger, so every day that goes by, he's just getting a little bit faster and a little bit stronger, and that power is going to increase every.
That implies that I don't keep that in mind.
Julius,
I mean, he's displaying it though. You can physically see him get stronger from his first fight till now.
Look, the problem with Ryan that I have, and it's not a problem, it's just an observation. As a gambling man, it's an observation. He doesn't get the rounds in. Those fights end really fucking fast. What do you learn from knocking out Fonseca? What do you learn?
That's the thing. That's the thing, because he ends his fights so fast. We haven't seen him only with Jason Vélez. Solo lo hemos visto con Jason Vélez llegar a los 12.
Exactly. So if I'm thinking about Tank, all right, I'm not, and y'all know how I feel about Tank, but he's gone a distance before. He didn't, and he didn't look good. That's the other thing. I mean, it's contentious, man. I could see both arguments being right. That maybe Ryan does knock him out. Who knows? I mean, Javante's been pissing in the wind for how long now? If you put him in there with somebody who's really trying to win, that isn't a featherweight. Who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows? Because Leo was a featherweight, man. Don't give me. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I saw how he looked with Flores. He looked awful. Looked slow, sluggish, work rate cut in half.
I even think Leo Santa Cruz is a small 130.
Yeah, he is. So I mean, like you knock out Leo, but what am I supposed to do with that? Like, all right, you knocked out Leo. Congratulations. Like, I don't know. Ryan, I feel, has a higher ceiling. Ryan has the frame to cap out at junior middleweight when he gets older. I think, at least welterweight.
I see Ryan going up to super middleweight in like 6-7 years.
You got to think about this
He's
too.
tall.
Though.
He's pretty tall.
Think about this. Ryan has the advantage of having Canelo with him 24/7. 24/7.
Clembo stakes, unlimited Clembo stakes. Have you seen the kid? He looks like a monster.
That means he's not gonna get tired when the rounds get long.
Yeah, unlimited Clembo stakes at Canelo's barbecues. That's something. That's something.
I don't see Ryan going up to super middleweight, bro. I'm just saying that now. I know, like, he's pretty big and stuff, but unless he's like some type of supernatural talent, those super middleweights are bigger than they've ever been.
Shout out to Catacor. Very much appreciate the Christmas gift. Wishing everybody well wishes and sanity during these crazy quarantine times. Height and reach mean nothing. Timing is everything. That's Catacor with the knowledge, with the wisdom and the knowledge. That's true. Lil.
Yeah, but it's a big difference when you're tall and you're a powder puncher versus when you're tall and you can hit hard, rocking the little guy coming in.
The thing is,
Ryan Garcia.
Does Callum Smith have Ryan Garcia's hand speed? Because Ryan does have fast hands, though. I mean, he does. He does.
Are we entertaining Callum Smith versus Ryan Garcia?
It's not a bad fight. It's not a bad fight. Damn good fight. And anyway, I want to clear up this Callum Smith stuff because I'm sick to my stomach with how people are talking about that kid.
Julius, I'm just going to tell you a little something. Acá en la Ciudad de México sí tenemos problemas con el clenbuterol. Por eso yo sí creo un poco la teoría de que Canelo salió positivo por la carne.
Sí, pero la vaina es que si tú lo miras, if you just take it at face value, right? Say, you're on the opposing team. Say you're Team Golovkin. You're Abel Sanchez. You got a bald spot and a really thick mustache.
Yeah.
How do you react? What is the reaction supposed to be ahead of the biggest fight that is in boxing? The biggest fight, the biggest rematch in boxing. Not only do you find out that he tested positive for clenbuterol, but Margaret Goodman tells everybody, he never enrolled in the clean boxing program. Because she told everybody that. When those 25 boxers got dropped, Amir Khan, Errol Spence, David Hay, a bunch of guys, man, Gabriel Rosado, when they got dropped for not enrolling in the program, you guys still ranked Canelo. And not only did you rank him, you let him fight for the title. How does it look?
Unfair, totally unfair.
That's why I tend to lean more towards that. You know what? Y'all knew what y'all was doing because I don't see, and I don't think that takes away from his boxing. Boxing and making weight are two different things. But he's very skilled. I have to give him that. But you're talking about a guy who went from 55 to what was it? 64, back down to 60, up to 75, down to 60. Bro, come on, dog. It's like nobody's moving like that except this guy.
Yo le doy el beneficio de la duda.
Nonito moves like that.
Le doy el beneficio de la duda, Julius, porque aquí en México varios deportistas han salido con el clem.
Yeah, I heard about the soccer team, the Mexican soccer team, but look at what they did for them. They went back, they retraced their steps to the places where they dined to locate, where could the tainted meat have come from? And they found that. You understand? With Canelo, they never got that comprehensive. Mauricio was calling him innocent before they even conducted an investigation. He said, Canelo can't be dirty. He can't be, no way. Like, bro.
Canelo can't be dirty.
One other thing that's not being taken into account is Canelo lives in San Diego. And that's where he trains, in San Diego.
Hey, look, man. Look, he gets imported meat. That's all it is.
Look, he's
From
not
Tijuana.
eating. Listen. Canelo Alvarez is not eating from a fucking chimichurri truck. All right, let's get that right out of the way. Not eating from a chimichurri truck.
I'm gonna tell you, like that whole steak story. I don't care about the Olympic soccer team. All that is BS. Clenbuterol has too short of a half-life for you to ingest it by meat and it stay in your system. It would not. It would be out so fast if you ingested it that way that it would never show up. It's a lie. But that's what happens in boxing. These guys at the top get a little slap on the wrist and nothing happens to them.
Yo, relating to Canelo problem with clenbuterol, do you think, guys, as real boxing fans, that Pacquiao was on something?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. Sean, clenbuterol, Canelo, what do you think?
I don't care about PEDs in sports because they're in every sport. They've always been in every sport. I'm not going to demean boxing and point fingers at certain individuals because I could care fucking less. I don't care.
Spoken like a true politician. He's asking you, what do you think?
I don't care. I mean, if
you might not care. You might not care, but do you think? What do you think?
Do I think he used it?
Yeah.
I think they're all using PEDs. Every elite athlete is using something. That's why they are well above the majority of fighters, the majority of track guys, the majority of baseball players. The elite guys all cheat. I mean, that's the way it is.
Look, I'm
God
on
bless
PEDs
you,
right
Sean.
now.
God bless you.
I'm on PEDs right now. So, I mean, he's got a point.
I am too. I'm on testosterone.
But hey, Julius, I will say this though. As far as Canelo moving so much weight around, the more muscle bound you are, because he's very muscular, the easier it is for you to move your weight around because your muscle is 80% water. So you dehydrate yourself and you can take off a tremendous amount of weight without actually losing weight.
Look, dog, between that, if I just look at this as a packaged deal, right? I look at everything that's happened, that he wasn't enrolled in the clean boxing program, that he got popped for clenbuterol, that he juggles weight like nobody else in the sport. Nobody else is moving around. Nobody else is moving around like that.
Nonito.
It paints a very clear picture. Do I think he's a bad boxer? Obviously not. The kid can box. I don't take that away from him. But as far as that, yeah, I'm not going to ignore all that. I can't. I'd have to be crazy. I would have to be crazy. Like, I'm going to ignore that Margaret Goodman and Vada and the WBC, out of all the boxers that they kicked out of the ranks, they let you stay. And not only did they let you stay, they let you fight for the title. They let you fight for the title, where the rule is you're not even supposed to be ranked, much less fighting for the title, but they let you do it. Yeah, come on.
But for example, what about Amanda Serrano? How she does to jump on the weights? You know, she goes very low and then very high. How
Alejandro, I will have you look, and I'm
women
trying to
fluctuate way more than men do.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. I could tell you what I was gonna. I'm trying to be nice to Amanda. I've been corresponding with Amanda. I'm trying to give her a break, but there's no way I can give her a break and omit information. Jordan Maldonado was busted for distributing PEDs in local gyms in New York City. This is a matter of public record. So you tell me, Alejandro, how's it look?
Suspicious.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'll use a different word. Blatant. That's how it looks. Blatant.
All right. So I mean, I tried. I spoke. You know, and I'm not trying to be her Howard Cosell. I'm not trying to be like. I'm not trying to bash you over everything you do. If she can unify with Jelena and unify with Sarah, I'll take it and I'll support it and I'll support her and I'll praise her for it.
I think the only boxer that has been 100% clean, in my opinion, is Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Garrett Miller.
Nonito Donaire.
I think Floyd Mayweather was really clean.
The only guy I think legitimately maybe 100% like actually clean, who's been a world champion, might be Tony Bellew.
Nonito Donaire. Tony Bellew.
Floyd Mayweather is clean.
Tony Bellew is full of shit. He talked all that shit about how, if he found out that a fighter was dirty,
I know.
And then Billy Joe Saunders is a good lad. He's a good lad. He wouldn't do that. Oh, he's got to be beside him.
Uh,
All of a sudden, like, come on, dog. Like, cut the crap, bro.
No, the main reason I believe that Tony Bellew wasn't on PEDs, and here's the reason: one, to make weight. He didn't even make it healthily. He didn't even look okay. He didn't even look like he was on PEDs, right? That was at 175.
That's true.
At 200, even in the Masternak fight, he showed gassing issues, and his power didn't really carry up. He landed some good shots against Makabu, which landed on the temple. That'll take nearly anybody up. Yeah. Against David Haye, he was starting to gas in the 7th round. The guy always had gassing issues. He always had weight issues. If he was on PEDs, he was on the worst gear known to man.
He gassed music. And I'm gonna say something that a lot of people don't like. Yo, Tony was kind of winning that fight, man. And he gassed. That's what happened. He gassed. So yeah, I see your point, Mark. I see your point. If this guy was on performance enhancing drugs, guess what? They did not enhance your performance.
Because here's the thing with Tony. He wasn't very fast. He didn't have a great gas tank. He didn't look like he was on PEDs. He didn't really have one-punch power. So he got no benefits.
All right, Lennox says the clenbuterol is a valid issue because multiple fighters in his training team got popped for the same substance. Does that mean they all eat at the same restaurant? Or does that mean they shop at the market for the same PEDs? Could be both. I mean, that could be, but like, so you're telling me that many fighters out of this particular gym tested positive for the same banned substance.
Could be. Maybe the Angle gym had tainted fish and chips.
I'm just saying.
Tainted fish and chips.
Look at Billy. Has Billy looked the way that he looked against David Lemieux since the nasal spray? Has he?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't remember that Billy got caught using ¿cómo le dices? PEDs?
PEDs.
PEDs.
But has he looked the same since then? I'll say that he looked alive against. I'm going to say this. He looked all right against Martin Murray, but it's Martin Murray who retired afterwards. You see what I mean? He retired after that fight. That was the best I've seen Billy in recent
anyhow, I still think Billy Joe Saunders is the man that is going to beat Canelo.
He's not going to do that, man.
Oh, come on. He's a very good fighter.
I think Cash Money Canelo is probably going to retire with a single loss in his record. Unless he goes up to 75 and decides to do the dance with those kids up there, Bivol and Better Beef, they stand the best chance of beating him. But remember, he's a 4-division champion. He beat 6 fucking world champions. Why would I put the pressure on him when Caleb and David need to fight? Charlo, you need to fight Andre.
Facts.
Yeah, Charlo has been duking Andre for a while.
I'm sick of it. Like, this is the problem with sports. They're like, yo, dog, look, I'm not a Canelo Alvarez fan, so don't ever be fooled. I'm not a fan of him. But we do this to athletes a lot. We set the bar different for Katie. We set the bar different for Joshua. We set the bar different for Canelo. No, these are the proven fighters. Why would we put pressure on them? Fucking Caleb.
I'm like,
why is Caleb Plant fighting Caleb Truax? Why?
Because Caleb Truax is the best super middleweight. No, I don't know. Man, why people is blaming Caleb Truax like Julio Cesar Chavez fought a lot of cab drivers?
No es lo que ellos le ofrecieron a Caleb Plant la pelea con Canelo 2 veces, no la cogiste.
Es increíble lo que hace Caleb Plant. Yo la verdad estoy muy decepcionado de él porque es un gran boxeador, pero he doesn't take the risk. He doesn't take the risks to be great. He only wants to fight PBC cab drivers. That's my problem with Caleb Plant. He's a great fighter.
You really have to think about it that, like, your dog, okay, let's say the first time he came to you, you didn't have enough time. Maybe you felt that the turnaround was too quick. Fine. But the second time?
Do you know who I think is a great fighter, but is like scared to be great? Germán Charlo. Germán Charlo is a good fighter, but he's like, he doesn't want to risk his stupid undefeated record, and I hate that because
I'm not. There's not going to be any Germán Charlo praise on my show. if you're going to talk about a Charlo, it has to be Jermell. He deserves the praise. He's one belt away from being undisputed, and the goddamn PBC themselves don't even promote that. He's only one belt away from being.
That's right, because I've seen PBC promote Jermell a little bit more than Jermell. I don't know why.
All right, now let me read the super chat from Drew.
Loma, PBC say he's already unified.
Yeah.
Because the WBO doesn't exist.
Drew says Loma the Chiba doesn't deserve a rematch unless he earns it like he made Tio earn it. Canelo on that Floyd Mayweather model. Announce the fight date. Test 36 weeks after you cycled off. Hey, that's not the craziest thing I ever heard.
Bro, that's like reckless talk. And Floyd Mayweather never got caught. He's like the cleanest boxer ever, in my opinion. Floyd Mayweather. Hey, what are you hating on Floyd? Floyd is a great
I agree with you, man. I think Floyd was as clean as Manny Pacquiao, man.
I agree.
No, but Manny Pacquiao wasn't something for sure. Manny Pacquiao wasn't something.
That's what I'm saying to you.
No, but Floyd is a clean fighter, and don't call me a Floyd fanboy.
It's not even saying that this fighter is clean or this fighter is dirty. It's that when people bring up that a fighter is dirty, they do so to diminish the fighter. When in all actuality, they're probably all dirty. So stop telling me about this guy.
There ain't a fighter right now at world level in any weight division, like legitimately, that I believe is clean. You can name anybody, Golovkin, Canelo. You can name Joshua, Tyson Fury, Wilder. I don't think any of those dudes are clean. I don't think Inoue is clean. I don't think Casemiro's clean. I don't think one of my favorite fighters, Nonito Donaire, is clean. I definitely don't think Usyk's fucking clean with that fucking stamina at 200+ pounds.
All I'm saying,
I think in the pound for pound list, I think the only fighter that I could swear is always clean is Gallo Estrada.
El Gallo.
Yeah.
Gallo. You think Gallo's clean?
Because he doesn't need any.
Listen, nobody is cleaner than Carlos Cuadras, and I'm not going to argue about it. That's the cleanest boxer I ever seen.
Julius, are you insane? You see the pimples on his back?
You can play. Oye, Julius, ¿cómo se le llama el juego en inglés de unir los puntos con la espalda de Carlos Cuadras?
Connect the dots.
You can connect the dots with Carlos Cuadras' back.
He reminds me of Marquez in the Pacquiao 4 or 5 fights.
Marquez was dirty as fuck.
Do you know who's clean? Ivan Baranchik's clean, guys.
Baranchik.
You think he's clean?
Oh yeah, bro. His muscles have muscles, bro. His lateral heads have lateral heads and triceps on them.
Well, after that KO, I think his head is clean.
But see, you know why I don't like to get into the pad conversation, because look, you're innocent until proven guilty. And the only reason that people bring it up is to diminish the fighter. That's the only reason they do it. They're, this guy's you know
Julius,
what I mean?
hay personas en el chat peleándose porque hablamos en español.
¿Qué fue?
Es que hay un chico de la India y otro de Pakistán peleándose porque estamos hablando en español.
I Breath of Life, appreciate that, Breath of Life. The Charlos are clearly waiting for Canelo for the L before they accept a deal to fight him. I tend to agree. I used to think that, and this is I used to think Charlo wanted that fight. Yo, somebody has background noise.
I think at 175, Bivol has a bigger chance of beating Canelo than Better Biev.
I don't know, man. If I don't know. Look, while Better Biev is still around, you know, he's not super old yet. He's dangerous, dog. He's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, but he's in his late 30s.
I get that. It just comes down to what do people think is more likely. Bivol gets a win and gets the win on the judges' scorecards, or Beterbiev knocking out Canelo. That's what it really comes down to.
That's exactly
I don't see Beterbiev knocking down Canelo, but maybe, I don't know. I think Bivol has the biggest chance.
I think if anybody's capable of knocking out Canelo from one fucking whatever division from 105 to 175, it's Beterbiev. Anyone can, it's him.
Yeah, I mean that look at his. I mean, it's not even numbers. It's just like, all right, yeah. As far as the guy who stands the best chance of knocking out Canelo, spark out, clean out, yeah, it's better be. Who else, man? Billy Joe, Demetrius Andrade, Fucking Charlo couldn't knock out Brandon Adams. He's gonna knock out Canelo.
Well, you know, some guys of the LDBC are saying that Benavidez is his hardest fight, but I think no,
Oh,
Benavidez is
fuck
so
outta here.
one-dimensional.
He needed 2 fights to beat Ronald Gavril. Enough. He needed
Hey, Ronald Gavril was a good one. He was a good fighter.
Berlanga.
Gavril is a good fighter. Maybe as good as Truax.
But you can't be comparing Ronald Gavril like as a comparison for what Canelo's gonna be.
Hey,
Like,
you don't say Caleb Truax without saying his nickname. It's Caleb TBE Truax.
Look, Floyd was subpoenaed, and many of the and Manny's that's true. Settled once judge approved Manny's lawyers requested for Floyd rumored failed USAFS drug test from Cotto Mosley fight. It's in court documents. I heard about all of that stuff. The only part of that case that held any water was the libel. You know that you can't run around calling Manny dirty. You can't do that. That's what won Manny the case. But the other stuff, come on now. Point being, don't talk to me about PEDs just to pigeonhole one guy, because that's why people do it. They do it to pigeonhole one guy, whatever guy it is that they don't like. When we're not dumb, bro. Everybody in all these guys in all likelihood are on something. I choose not to run with it because you're innocent until proven guilty, and the only reason people bring it up is to disparage the fighter. That's the only reason they bring it up. If not for that, they wouldn't mention it. Fucking James.
Julius.
Go ahead.
What's good, Julius?
Chilling.
Sean.
What's up, D?
I just wanted to say this, Julius, and I want you to keep rocking with what you were saying. I totally stand behind what you're saying because I've said it all the time. All of these motherfuckers are doing something. I digress. Continue, my friend.
All right. Vladdy V says, if Billy Joe fights Canelo and thoroughly outboxes him, does anyone here believe Billy won't get? That's a fair question. It is. If Billy's not going to knock out Canelo, he's not. We know that. But Billy's
what does thoroughly mean? I think if Billy actually does what he did to Martin Murray against Canelo, he may get the decision. If Canelo is in any of those rounds, he'll win them. Like even if he's 5 punches off, the judges can just score 2 power punches to equal 19 of Billy's jabs. I'm gonna do a realism poll. I'm gonna start with Sean. Sean, do you think Billy Joe Saunders can win on the cards with Canelo Alvarez? No, right? Alejandro, Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez, can Billy win on the cards as far as you're concerned?
If you put it that way, I think Billy Joe Saunders needs to win 10 rounds to beat Canelo on the cards, because if it's a close fight, Canelo is going to get the decision. I know how it works.
D, can Billy Joe Saunders win on the cards? Your mic is off, D.
I was thinking about pulling a Sean Newton right there. It wasn't even worth words for him. Fuck no, he can't. He ain't gonna win on the cards.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he could go in there and just like Alejandro just said, Billy would need to win 10 rounds to win 5 rounds. On the cards, he would need to win 10 rounds to win 5 rounds.
Fact.
So I mean, yeah,
kind of like Rodriguez against Gambala.
Oh my God,
that's right, man.
Horrible, bro.
Es la pelea esa donde peleó Rodríguez con un filipino, ¿no? Y le robaron.
El puertorriqueño iba a pelear con Nonito, el puertorriqueño.
But what did Nonito pull off of the fight? What happened?
Bueno, yo, this is the thing. If you look at the whole story, here's the funny thing. Nonito's wife posted a real long message on Facebook, and she's basically saying that they gave Nonito a false positive because they conducted an independent test and it came back negative for COVID all the time. So now it looks, you could speculate, why did y'all want to get Nonito out of this fight? Because it looks like y'all wanted to get him out of this fight. Y'all kept saying he had COVID. He didn't have COVID. So when he went to his own lab or whatever, lab court, did an independent test, turns out he didn't have it. So was y'all trying to get him out of this fight, to get this Pinoy guy in the fight, to get him in there with Rodriguez? Because that's kind of how it looks.
But to
Hey,
what
Julius.
end?
Hey, Julius, check this out. Now, I think it was when Povetkin tested. I said this. I was on here. I was talking to you. I said this is only something for them to delay fights without fans complaining, or to finagle their agendas without fans complaining. Because we can't say anything about well, maybe he don't have COVID. We can't say anything about that, right? So they can do this. They can label anybody they want with COVID for whatever agenda that they're trying to cover, right? So I believe that totally. And Nonito Donaire, he paid out of his own pocket.
Yep.
His own three times over he took the test. So if y'all test come up negative once, why the fuck do I go over here, pay for my own, and three times over, it's negative? Like, get out of here with this.
You know
man.
why that aggravated me? Because I was getting excited. If Nonito would have won that fight, if he would have got that WBC title, I would have had the precedence to put him on the ring IQ pound for pound list. Y'all know what that man resume look like? That man got a resume. Now it might not happen. Now I don't see him fighting for a title now. I don't.
But was he going to win the legitimate title, or was he just going to get a mandatory position? Because
Well,
O'Bali is still the champion.
At first, this was my.
He was gonna be. He
But
was
right
gonna
now,
get,
right now, Ubali is the
Oh.
champion in Rixes.
Yeah, Ubali's
Yeah.
champion in recess. He was gonna get. It was for the vacant title.
Oh, did they
shot. It
put
was
him
the
in
actual-
recess?
Yeah, it was
if
the vacant
Ubali basically would have been the mandatory. Ubali would have been the mandatory, and Nonito would have had the title. And me and Mark talked about this plenty of times. That regardless of anything, if it would have stayed the way that it was, Nonito stood a good chance of beating Ubali. Yo,
Es que están diciendo que es mi gato, pero no es un peluche de puma.
no, yo vi un gato anterior, un gato verdadero, un gato.
¿Dónde?
¿Dónde
No,
está
solo tengo aquel. Ah, mi gato anda por ahí, pero no me hace caso.
But yeah, Nonito actually stood a chance, a legitimate chance of beating Ubali. Anybody that saw the Takuma Inoue fight would know that. Bro, Nonito hit way harder than Takuma. If Nonito hit Ubali the way Takuma hit Ubali, yeah, he might go out, bro.
And he will, because Takuma Inoue is the lesser of the two Inoues, right? I believe Nonito will hit.
Now we'll never know because it's not like Nonito's getting any younger. That was his shot. That was like his last shot to become a world champion.
But
I
he's
don't
still,
know what he did after that.
he's still number one on the ranking.
This is a real cat. This is for real.
What does the
Gato.
cat? What does the cat think about the Lomachenko Lopez situation?
Well, her name is Hamburguesa, and Hamburguesa thinks Lopez is going to stop. Lopez is going to stop Lomachenko in the first round.
Her name is
Your cat name
Hamburger.
is Hamburger, man. That is hilarious.
Yeah, her name is Hamburguesa.
Yeah,
Hamburger.
Hamburger. So that's awesome.
Like, now that D is here, I gotta ask D. I know that he's real big on Lopez, but you know we gotta ask the questions. D, do you want a rematch? Not if it comes on, if they make it. Do you want to see a second fight?
Do I want to see it? Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if look, honestly, I want to see him fight Loma in a rematch. Why not? I would like to see him fight Devin Haney. I just don't like the stupid demands that people are making. Those fights are interesting. The first fight with Lomachenko, he came on in the latter half of that fight, and he made a good showing of himself. So it just puts the idea out there that, hell, if he'd have started that earlier, maybe he beats Teofimo. However, what intrigues me about that fight is I look at that otherwise. Had he come on earlier,
He gets knocked out earlier.
Yeah, he'd have put himself in much more danger to get stopped. So, you know, Teofimo's learning. It's not like this kid is staying at the same level. So he gets back into that next fight with Loma, and Loma say, okay, I'll turn it up early. He can get caught with something. So it's very intriguing.
What do you think about the quote-unquote injury and its role in the fight? Does it mean anything to you?
It means absolutely nothing, but Lomachenko is being a poor champion and lost. That's all it means. He's being a poor champion and lost, bro. Because
All
we
right.
can sit here and criticize all of these other guys, the Wilders and all of these guys making excuses. But here's the facts. You're a fucking champion, you take your loss, you take it on the chin like a man and keep it moving. You don't have your team come out with damn shoulder reports when you told the whole world you was 100% you was gonna send this kid crying to his dad. Now your team comes out with shoulder reports. You come out with a video talking about bribery and the game being played against you. No, that's soft. That's soft and weak by Lomachenko. And any Lomachenko fans that can't understand that, they're being fucking double standard. It's not what a champion should do, period.
Julie Letterman, 109 scorecard. Is that how you saw the fight?
Hell no. He must have been smoking crack, man. Hell no. And I'm the biggest Teofimo fan out here. I think I am, but it was no fucking way you can only give Lomachenko one round in that fight. I know what Junior Lopez said, respect to him, but nah, bro. He got way more than one round in that fight. Like, let's be honest.
Look, here's an idea. I think judges should be drug tested before and after.
I think it's a great idea.
He said they need the clean boxing program for judges. You know what the funny thing is, though? With all this being said, right? We know what fights are not about to happen for Teofimo. We know that he's not going to fight Devin Haney like next. And we know that Ryan, that's not next. Davis, they're going to keep hiding that kid. They're not going to put him in there with Teofimo. Not, if they put him in it with anybody, it's going to be Ryan. That being said, I think the door is open for the rematch to happen next year. Like, I think it actually happens. Even if he's saying now that they're not receptive to it, they don't really want it. Like Sean said, next year you can have it with people. You can have it on pay-per-view. You can make the money that you were supposed to make in the first fight next year. So I think it might happen.
I bet you $10 it doesn't happen, Julius.
You don't think it happened?
Not next year.
Julius, who do you think right now active boxers are the most protected by judges?
Hey, hold on, Alejandro. I'm trying to make money here. Hold on.
Why are you trying to make money? Tell me.
Julius, do you accept the bet?
Heading.
$10 it doesn't happen next year.
I mean, if you're telling me it doesn't happen until 2022, I could accept that too. But see, this is the thing.
You said you're a betting man.
Hold on, this is the thing. The reason that I kind of said late next year, you know why I said that? Because I'm like, okay, well, Teofimo has George Kambosos now, right? He's got that to keep him busy. He has that. Pero después de eso, after that, who are you going to fight? Devin Haney? No. Ryan Garcia?
I think Loma's gone to 130, dude.
What happened?
I think Loma's going to go down to 130.
It does. I mean, that was what I thought at first, bro. That's what I thought. You know what? He's not gonna come back at 35. He's gonna go down to 30, and then Shakur's gonna retire him. That's what I thought. We're talking about a span of maybe 18 months, close to 2 years. That's what I thought was going to happen. He goes down there, he wins a title down there from somebody, and then they build the Shakur Stevenson fight. That's what I thought the trajectory was going to be. Now it sounds like he wants to stay at 35 and pursue a rematch.
Do you see Loma beating Stevenson at 130? I don't think so.
Now, yes. Now, here today, yes. What's the problem? They're not fighting here today. In all likelihood, that's a fight that maybe we see 2 years from now. So, in 2 years, do I think Stevenson can beat him? Yes.
Yes, in 2 years, yes. Right now, I think it's going to be a very competitive fight.
Stevenson has no power.
Not yet.
I think the weakest link at 130 right now is between Jamel Herring and the Mexican guy that
for sure.
Let's be honest. The weakest link, and I respect the hell out of him. I really do, because I don't know why the fuck Oscar Valdez. He's the weakest link.
He's not a champion. I mean, the weakest link among the champions, I think is between Jojo Diaz and Jamel Herring are the weakest 130 champions.
I think it's Herring right now, just because like he's talking retirement. He's coming off that bad fight, the injury and all this shit. I think right now, like Jojo might beat up Herring right now.
And as a human being, I like Jamel Herring. He's a great human being, but I think he's not like the biggest threat at 130.
And this is what I'm gonna say. If you got Jamel Herring and Joseph Diaz in the ring, and I'm not saying it because he cool. I would bet on Herring. JoJo, you caught Tevin at the right time, bro. That's not the Tevin that I be watching. Something was, I don't know what was wrong with him, but that's he wasn't fighting right. All right.
Come on, Devin
I'm
fucking never
serious.
fought anybody in his life. The only guy ever fought fucking kicked his ass.
I'm just saying, JoJo.
Hey.
JoJo is not. He's not that guy, bro. He's not that guy. Something wasn't right. If they have a rematch, I'm going with Tevin. Points.
Fucking Tevin's gonna get beat again.
I will say this. I will say this about the Tevin Farmer and JoJo Diaz fight. I agree with you totally, right? But it's a fight that's interesting in the rematch. But with Jamel Herring, I like Jamel Herring, but I kind of agree with Alejandro. I think that it's between JoJo Diaz, but Alejandro, I think JoJo Diaz gets him because Jamel Herring, when he fought Aquindo, when he faced that eye injury, that
I remember.
Aquindo kept coming in so fucking predictable. And what hurt me with that Jamel Herring fight is that I think like the third round, he saw it. He caught him with the uppercut because Aquindo just kept coming in head first and shooting that hand up. Mm-hmm. And Jamel caught him with the uppercut. And then for some reason, he fucking abandoned it. I'm like, bro, why are you not timing him? He's coming in the exact same way every time. Hold on real quick, Alejandro. So with the ideology, I just believe that JoJo will offer him too many different looks. If you can't get around one goddamn look, which was the same look Oquendo kept giving you, I don't see him beating JoJo. I don't.
There's some. I'm going to tell it in Spanish because I don't find the right words in English, pero hay un problema de que están olvidando. Miguel Berchelt no quiso pelear con Herring y yo lo recuerdo.
Eso es lo que yo estoy diciendo. Before y'all say anything about Jamel and Oquendo, unless you're going in like Oquendo, looking for a headbutt, you're not looking for safe entry to throw punches. You're looking for a headbutt. So unless that's what you're doing, I throw that completely out. Oquendo was going in there to headbutt him. That's not what you would get in a Carl Frampton. That's not what you get in a JoJo Diaz. So I don't equate one to the other because you're looking at a guy who's looking to foul you. He's trying to foul you. Unless every other guy that walks in there is trying to foul you, I don't even see how that makes a difference. All right?
There was no. Yeah. No, I just wanted to point. I just wanted to point out that there was some negative feedback against Jamel Herring that was unfair. That he was a quitter. That just because they stopped the fight. I'm not going to name names on the YTBC, but I just thought it was unfair.
I'm gonna say this. Go back to Floyd. Go back to Floyd versus Ortiz. Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz's only highlight in that fight was the headbutt. It's the headbutt. Right. So you're talking about a guy going in there who's going in there to foul you. Unless that's the strategy that every other guy walks in there with, I don't see how it makes a difference.
All right, Julius. This is why it makes a difference, man. And I get you. Yes, Oquendo was just trying to do something dirty, right? But it's the way he kept coming in, is what I'm saying. He still was coming in somewhat of a boxing manner for him. He would come in with that head, but he would shoot that hand off target every time. Like he was there open for the uppercut. And what I'm saying is, okay, the guy's coming in there fouling, but this is like a one trick. You're seeing this shit over and over and over again, and you cannot capitalize off of it. What about
what Lawrence, which is true? The dude had 3 fucking camps for Oquendo. He had 3 camps for that dude, bro. That fight got canceled like 3 times. I think that matters, bro. I think it matters. And to Alejandro's point, which I didn't forget, I've done many videos about it. I view Berchelt as the most dangerous man at 130 pounds. That's who I think is the most dangerous fighter at 130 pounds. And as far as I'm concerned, the most dangerous fighter at 130 pounds took one look at Jamel and went the other way. You tell me why he did that. If it's so easy, you tell me why he did that.
My problem with Alacrán Berchelt is that people here in Mexico, ¿cómo le dirían? Lo elevan demasiado. They overrate him a lot because he has power, but he has been stopped a long time ago, like 6 years ago. But Lacran Berchel has a suspicious chin. That's
Look. Alacran is fun to watch, and his girlfriend is gorgeous, and I'm not going to argue about it. Vicky Flores, follow her on Instagram. Jesus Christ.
Hold on, what did you say the name was?
Vicky Flores.
Vicky Flores.
Okay,
Right?
I'll be the judge of this.
I think Gallo Estrada wife is a little bit hotter than Berchel's wife.
No. Berchel's girl is a fitness nut with a fitness butt, and I'm not going to argue about it.
Well, that gives her points because Gallo Estrada wife is pretty, but she doesn't have a fitness body. He's like flaquita. She's thin, but she doesn't have a fitness butt.
Vicky Flores, all right? Fitness nut, fitness butt. She works out all the time, all right? You think she was the boxer, how much she works out.
Is it Vicky with an I or Vicky with a Y?
Vicky with a Y.
Okay.
I'm gonna save some images of her for later purposes.
Oh God, there's so many. I'm just doing this for scientific research. Hold on.
Oh yeah, she is kind of pretty, man.
Listen, man, Berchelt is gonna beat the hell out of. I don't know what Alex is doing, bro. I don't understand. Like, bro, that dude is gonna beat the shit out of you, yo. He is.
I can't find her, bro.
Vicky Flores, man. She's
Julius, Miguel Berchelt and Tank Davis.
I go Berchelt. I've been said that. I go Berchelt because Berchelt's pressure is consistent. He's not going to give you the time to look for the shot. He's not going to give you the opportunity to set up the counter shot. He's just going to keep coming after you, and he's going to put you in a situation. It's like I don't rule out that Davis could knock him out. It's just that look at what happened with Gamboa. Gamboa ended up stopping your work by diving into them clinches. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but what about Berchel's suspect chin?
Is it suspect when he was in there with Mickey Roman? Can we say Mickey Roman is not a great boxer, but he has a great chin and he can fucking punch. And
but I don't think Mickey Roman hits harder than Gervonta Davis.
I don't know about Davis's power. What are we talking about? Knocking out Leo Santa Cruz?
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about. I think Gervonta Davis has more power and more speed than Mickey Roman, and Berchelt has a suspect chin because he has been knocked out in the first round. So I don't know. I'm not so sure if Berchelt beats Davis.
I'm gonna say that because I'm not sure of where Davis's power really is, right? Because I'm not sure, I'm not sold on it. I don't know that you're a bigger puncher than either Miguel Berchelt or Mickey Roman. If put it this way, if Miguel Berchelt were to move up to 35 and he fit right in, if he did, and you put him in there with Gamboa, you don't think he knocks Gamboa out?
Yeah, but that's like a triangle theory.
No, because we're gauging power. We're gauging power. Who hits harder? ¿Quién tiene la pegada más grande? So it's not a triangle theory. It's more like, yo, if he lands clean the way that Davis landed clean, don't you think he puts him away? Because Davis landed clean. He dropped him several times, but he kept getting up. I'm thinking if Miguel lands the way you landed, that guy's not getting up.
Well, for example, I think Gamboa has an underrated chin.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
No, come on, Gamboa has a chin.
Crazy. You're crazy. All right, let's see. You see that?
Yeah.
Images of glory.
They're loving each other.
Those are two good friends, is what they are.
All right. I didn't know you had it up. Hold on, Julius. I didn't know you had it up. I'm going to play it right now.
Secreto en el cuadrilátero.
Yeah,
Secreto. Oh shit!
So beautiful.
There you go, right here. Watch,
Beautiful.
watch people.
That looks like a beautiful friendship.
So watch how. Look, watch it, guys. Watch this. This.
Oh.
Bam.
Oh my god, man!
Those are arm punches, by the way.
Well, some PBC fans will be saying that you're hating on Davis.
You better stop hating, D.
Whatever, man. I always say that.
You better stop hating on Davies.
Stop hating, all right? Nah, but real shit, if that was Butchelt landing those punches, Davis don't take them. I'm telling you, my problem with Davis is I see what you can do in favorable situations against a certain level of opponent. I don't know what happens if you're in there with Butchelt because he's not going to stop coming after you. He's not going to stop coming after you. He's
The
going
other
to stay
thing
on
is,
the whole fight.
Julius, the other thing is those were arm punches. Berchelt don't throw no arm punches. He's coming through with his entire frame on you.
And
He's shifting his whole. He's shifting from the souls of his ancestors through his balls into his arms, bro.
yeah, man.
I've never seen Anton so aggressive. Honest, I think he might be the most vicious fighter in boxing today. Like I'm talking vicious.
Well, no. Well, I mean, we got to bring up Arthur if we're talking vicious.
I know. We have to bring up Arthur, but it's really them two though. They are two, like for raw, ruthless aggression, like constantly just pure raw aggression. It's him, it's Casemiro, it's Viterbiev, and it's Luis Neri. They're the four most aggressive fighters.
Luis Neri's out of the running. Alen Babic took his place. Alen Babic the Savage.
I'm talking at world level. I'm not talking at comedic value. Get out of here.
Why can't I be in there, man?
Yo me llevé una muy buena impresión de ver a Maiva Hamadouche peleando. Me recordó mucho a Sean Porter.
See, that's how she fights. That's how she fights. Yeah. The only difference is that I'm going to say the difference between Maiva and Sean is Maiva, and this is going to sound funny, is better on the inside. Once she has you pinned down, once she has you where she wants you, she knows how to land. She's going to get around the guard. She's going to get under your elbow. She's going to get in that crevice between your forearm and your upper arm. She puts the punches is landing. So she's actually, to me, better than Sean in the pocket.
Maiva is the biggest threat for Mikaela Mayer, I think.
Listen, there's people out there, and I don't know if y'all are going to agree, but there's people out there that think that when the smoke settles, she's going to beat them all. That the only one that stands a chance, and this is what I've been told from other people, they feel like the only one that stands a chance is maybe Terry on the cards. Wink, wink. That's what I've been, that's people's opinions. That's people's opinions of the fight. I'm not saying I'm endorsing them. I'm saying that's what I've been told. And I like Mikaela. I don't know if she could beat Maiva. I really don't. I would not bet on that fight.
Julius, I don't know.
I would bet on the fight, but I wouldn't bet on Mikaela.
Yeah, Julius, I don't know the weight classes, right? But what is the difference, like in weight, between Hamadouche and Marshall?
Marshall's at 160 right now. Hamadouche is at 30.
I thought Marshall was at 168. Is she not?
No, she moved down.
Oh, she's moved down from the ranking fight.
Yeah. No. From the ranking fight was a middleweight fight. That was middleweight.
It was a what?
That was a middleweight fight.
Oh, I thought it might have been 168. My bad. So she must have moved down for that fight. Okay.
Yeah. Like all the belts at 68 are spoken for. She been left 68. She was supposed to go up to 75. COVID hit, travel restrictions.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. Yeah. So it's the different. It's essentially like Tevin Farmer, fighting against Golovkin.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Because Savannah Marshall's fucking brutal with those body shots. I couldn't see her getting past him like that. But
I fucking love her, dog. I almost ejaculated watching her fight, dog. It was so magnificent.
Man, I was doing that card, Julius, and I was doing that card, and I was like, oh my God, she's fucking. I was going crazy on that card.
The thing that caught me the most on that fight, man, and I think Dee's in the same thing, was there was a moment against Rankin where when she went into a southpaw stance. Rankin went for a left hook, and she caught her with a shoulder roll, and then she shifted stance, and then when Rankin went to throw the straight left, she shoulder rolled it again off of the orthodox position, bruh. She double shoulder rolled her in a stance switch.
Yeah,
I haven't actually seen that happen since Georgie Benton against Ruben Hurricane Carter. That's how long ago that's been. That's the most singular in the last 10 years in boxing. That's the most skilled thing I've seen. Bro, I'm telling you right now, even thinking about it, I feel like I'm having a prostate exam.
Hey guys, I gotta go because my battery is dying.
All right, Alejandro, always a pleasure, bro.
I have a little
Yes,
reminder
Alejandro.
for you guys. Ioka versus Tanaka in 1 week.
Ya tú sabes, ya tú sabes, ya tú sabes. Mark know what time it is. The end is nigh, bro.
I'm
The end
looking
is
forward
nigh.
to your money. I'm
The
looking,
end is nigh, bro. It's cool, bro. It's cool. We had
bro.
the
When
we had the
bro,
build
I
up.
swear to Julius, I swear to God, when I get that money from you, if you want, just for your own viewing pleasure, I will take that money out, that 20 euro bill. I will make a video of me using that note as a fucking condom to wank in, just to send to you personally. Okay?
Listen, well, you don't need to send me that, all right? But you know what? I don't gotta say nothing. I know. My guy, the work is done. The work is done. It's a
Look,
wrap.
let's just leave it like this. For everybody who wants to know, Julius is betting on politics. I'm betting on skills.
No, I bet on Kosei. All I said was I have Kosei winning the fight. I didn't get into this and that.
You've mentioned numerous times the main
All,
reason you
all
believe
I
it.
said, all I said was that it is a factor, though. It would be disingenuous of me to not
Yeah,
mention that.
it is a factor.
It's a factor. So I mean, it is what it is.
I placed money today on Ioka to stop Kosei.
It's not like Ioka's a massive underdog or anything. He's an underdog, but not by much.
I don't think he should. I think it's kind of sad the way he's been treated by the bookies over the years because I've been watching him for years, so I always see what type of odds he has. He was evens with Cintron.
Really?
He was a 3-1
They
under.
had it
He was a
even wrong.
he
You
was
talking
a
about the Puerto
3-1
Rican kid?
underdog. He was a 3-1 underdog. He
The
was a
Puerto Rican
3-1.
kid.
No, he was a 3-1 underdog against Reveco in both fights.
They don't respect him, man. They don't
No,
respect
the bookies have never ever given him the credit. The truth be told, in this fight, he should be entering the favor.
Is it? I mean, I know that skill-wise, Kazuto is a much better. Skill-wise, Kazuto is a much better fighter than the guy I'm about to name. But looking at that, it reminds me of Joe
It
Smith.
reminds you of
Joe,
what?
Yo, who got like background music or something?
It's D. Let's see. All right.
Joe Smith Jr. has literally upset the bookie.
You cut out, Julius. Is he cut out for everyone else or just me?
Nah, he cut out.
Yeah.
But Mark, I was
Yeah.
just getting ready to give you a text, bro. I ain't even bullshit you. I don't know. It's just strange, but my mic only starts echoing like around your mic. Like if I'm on your panel or if I'm on the same panel with you or some shit like that, it don't even be echoing.
No.
It's like,
I do hear it sometimes on your live streams.
oh,
When I'm not even there. When I'm not even there, it does happen.
I don't get it a whole lot, but might be this damn computer. Might be time for me to upgrade or get a mic.
Yeah, I gotta get a new setup myself because and I'm just being a lazy old fucking man because I could have got this shit. I could have got all this shit months ago. I just decided to be lazy. Like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's time for me to upgrade too.
Yo, Julius, if I may, since we have a lot of people in the chat, if I may, can I give people a lot of advice if they're unsure, like with the Kosei Tanaka and the Ioka fight? And I'm not going to be in any shape, maker, form bias, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? Not selling the fight, right? So I'll coin to sell the fight, though. This is a legitimate 50-50 matchup, right? It's going to come down to a couple of things. If Kosei Tanaka is able to withstand the body attack of Ioka and he makes it the distance, he's in with a realistic chance of winning the fight because of two things. The amount of punches he throws and the speed in which he throws at. Ioka is a rhythmic fighter. If he's able to offset the rhythm of Tanaka, more than likely he'll dominate the fight. If he can't offset the rhythm of Tanaka, Tanaka's going to be there and he's going to be close and he could nick the fight on points. It's a very close fight. It's very difficult to call. Think of it as kind of like a subpar Floyd who's quite aggressive and a subpar Manny Pacquiao who's extremely aggressive. That's kind of what it's like. Essentially, what you're going to be looking at in a weird roundabout way is kind of like Quadros. No, let me move up in weights. And what would be a good one? I've got a good one for you, actually. Kind of like Pro Gray and Taylor. That's a very good way of describing them. They're both good in the pocket. One guy throws more punches. The other one's better at offsetting rhythm, as in Regis Prograis. One's better defensively. The other one has more of a variant in upper body shots and punches being thrown. That's the best way to describe it. So whatever way you want to do this, you can look at politics as well will be a factor. So if you want to make a bet in any shape, make, or form, the smartest money move would probably be Tanaka on points. But if you want to like go for like odds that are a bit higher and loftier, there is a possibility that Kosei Tanaka could get stopped due to the body damage of Ioka and him taking him out late by cutting the tree down, because I think that's his entire game plan.
And given the nature of the sport, Kosei's young guy, strong guy, best years of his life, best years of his career, chance to make history. I don't rule out that because Kazuto's a good fighter, and that's a big problem that he's a good fighter that nobody knows about, and now he's about to lose, so they'll never know about him. And I'm not saying that to be funny, but that's my view of it. They're like, damn, dog, this dude fought in 4 weight classes. When y'all gonna give him some shine? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck does he have to do? Fight in 8 weight classes? Like, what the fuck does he have to do?
What's up with this? The fact that after he beats Tanaka, it's still probably going to be much the same effect.
But you know what? Not even being funny, you're right. If he was to beat Tanaka, they're not gonna like. Why do you have Gennady Golovkin on a pound for pound list? Why?
Look, it comes down to what people want to recognize. Some people will recognize Golovkin's defenses, whether you want to or not. That's of your own volition. I think that's fair. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. But what I will say is, I already have Kazuto pretty high on my pound for pound list. If he wins this shit, bro, like, because I don't do it like you do, so I've got my own little criteria or whatever. But if he does win this fight, either guy wins this fight, I think they should be in the top 6 of most pound for pound lists, and I think that's fair.
That's how I'd have it. I mean, Kazuto's in my top 5, so my motherfucker ain't gonna like it, but shit. I'm just gonna double check. I'm pretty sure let me double check this shit.
He might be 5 or 6 on your list, Julius, I think.
Yeah, he is. He's top 5. I got him at number 5. Yeah, man, like the fuck. 4 fucking weight classes, bro. 2 world. What is it? 2 world champions? He unseated? 2? The Palikte fight was for a vacant title. Who's the 2 champions that he beat before that?
He beat Yamanaka in a unification at 104, and he beat Reveco. But
yeah. Remember, I did my homework on him. I'm just old, so I forget things.
I'm just trying to remember. It's hold on. Let me just remember this off it. So, like, he beat Jirga Jang at 105 for the WBC. Then he unified with it was Yugashi, not Yamanaka, Akira Yugashi. He moved up, won a vacant title at 108. Defended. Lost to Rumarong. Then at 112, beat Reveco. So 3 champions.
Oh yeah, that's more than enough. Ruin Wrong. Shout out to Ruin Wrong for making Saw look like shit.
Shout out to I'm Not Rumarong for being one of the most being one of the most crude, disgusting fighters in the sport, because this motherfucker's like Salido, right?
Yeah,
he's a bona fide, like, people want to say, oh, he's cheating. Pulev punched Joshua in the head. Oh my god.
That goes back to like old school boxing as far as I'm concerned. Like, yo, dog, it's gonna get like that in the ring when you're in there with real experienced fighters. It's gonna get like that. What are you gonna do? Complain to the ref? What are you gonna do?
And have a look at Ruin Wrong's resume, by the way. It's stacked.
Yeah, man. There's not a lot of people Ruin Wrong didn't fight. Not a lot of people.
Let me just point this out to people. This man holds victories over Casemiro and Ioka.
Yep. Those 2 victories alone is bigger than what you find in most motherfuckers' resumes.
Julius and Mark, or Julius, Mark, and Virtuoso. Woman on the women's side, fight of the year. Who y'all got?
Jessica, easy, biggest one of the year.
He said fight of the year, not fighter of the year.
No fighter.
Fighter. I got Jessica, easily. That's not a. There's no argument against Jessica. There is no argument against Jessica. None. All right.
Jessica has a legitimate claim if you want to merge male and female boxing. Her win might be the biggest in the sport this year.
Yeah, there's no argument. You can't make an argument against her beating. She moved up in weight to fight somebody that never lost, that was on a 25th title defense, held all the belts, was an undisputed champion for like, what, 4 years or some shit. Like, bruh, there's nobody has a win like Jessica. Not this year. No.
There you go.
The only person that has a win that I think is comparable is my male fighter of the year, Teofimo Lopez. That's it. That's the only one.
Like for me, female fighter of the year is Jessica. Male, I gave it to Tyson because he was the away fighter against Wilder.
Yeah, but we knew. You know what the thing is?
You can't say we knew.
No. Didn't you feel that he beat him already? I felt like he beat him already.
Yeah, but you didn't pick him even though you felt it.
That's true. That's fair. But
you picked against my guy, Julius?
No, I didn't pick. I picked Wilder, dog, because I heard Tyson.
My guy. That's my guy. That means you picked against my guy.
I picked Tyson. I picked Wilder because Tyson was talking about coming forward, and I'm like, coming forward? What are you, out of your mind? You're just gonna you're gonna line yourself up to get knocked out. And you know, he showed. And I gotta give him credit for it. With that being said, I don't think that's a bigger win than what Teofimo did. Teofimo was favored to lose.
I'll say this.
Lose.
I'm not done yet though in terms of my fighter of the year with the males. Because I do think the winner of Tanaka and Ioka is in with a viable show if they win extremely impressive.
No. The only way the winner of that fight, because you got to put it into context. Kosei has a precedence to win fighter of the year. He does if he wins, but Kazuto not so much.
I'm saying that Kazuto stops Kosei inside 8 rounds. If he does that shit,
if he stops him, he's stopping a guy who's moving up. That's what we're talking about.
I know, but we are talking about someone who is in the pound for pound conversation as well. Somebody who actually it goes less unheralded than somebody he equaled and in some ways even beat in Lomachenko in terms of how fast, in terms of the time scale it was.
I don't think we can. You know what? Look at how the bookie look. It's almost even money between those two guys. Whereas Teofimo was the underdog. He was the underdog. Moreover, he won in a fashion. That people didn't think he would. They thought he could knock out Lomachenko. They thought that. They didn't think, he's going to beat him on points. So, it got to be Teofimo, dog.
4-1. He opened up at 4-1. And as the fight got closer, the closest drop was 3-1.
Got to give Teofimo, man. I think that Kosei, just like you said.
Well, can I make one argument real quick? Not with the Kosei fight. When we're talking about Teofimo. Teofimo's odds to knock out Lomachenko, he had better odds than Fury did of knocking out Wilder, according to the bookies.
Yeah, but you just said Kazuto and Kosei is a 50-50 fight. People didn't view Lopez Lomachenko as a 50-50 fight. They didn't. The favorite was Loma.
And he didn't knock him out, which is what he was favored to do if he won. He outboxed him. Which is even
I think his odds to win on points were the same as Fury's to win on knockout, right? They were the same. Both guys were 8-1 to win the way they did when betting lines opened. So it really comes down to what you prefer: the unified pound for pound win over the 10 consecutive title defense streak winning on the road in America and stopping.
I think we're removing a lot of context because beating Wilder, right? Wilder was not to heavyweight what Lomachenko was to lightweight. Lomachenko was it. He was it. Like, this is the guy. Wilder was not the guy. Like, nah. He wasn't the guy.
Hold up, Julius. After Joshua lost, Wilder was the guy.
No, but Joshua got his belts back, correct? At the end of last year, Joshua gets his belts back.
Where did they have them ranked? It was 1 Wilder, 2 Fury, 3 Joshua.
That's according to Transnational and Ring Magazine. So that's why the lineal title was on the line. So it officially reestablished the lineal at heavyweight according to how lineal was originally formed.
I already
But once again, this did no, hold on. Once again, this is why this is such a good conversation, because lineal was formed at lightweight. Because Loma wasn't the lineal champion. Him and Teofimo was for lineal because they were both 1 and 2 consensusly across all of those organizations, the media organizations. So that's how lineal was formed. So we have a new lineal heavyweight champion, a new lineal lightweight champion. One guy picked up more titles. It just comes down to what you prefer. I understand like context from your point of view. Context from my point of view, though.
He gets great haircuts, that kid. He dresses nice. He's a good kid. Give him fighter of the year and leave him the hell alone.
No, I'm giving Tyson Fury. I'm giving Tyson Fury fighter of the year because me and him look like fucking cousins.
This is true. This is true. Hey, look, check it out though. Check it out. I don't give a shit really, but if anybody want to make some arguments of why he should get it, then I'm going to defend him. And if they make arguments of why he should get it, then I'm going to defend him.
I got nothing against the I
agree with it, to be honest, because it's so hard. Why not let bygones be bygones and just give it to Joe Smith Jr.?
Look, he's gonna be a champion. He's gonna fucking knock Vlasov's head off, man. Vlasov is good. Don't get it twisted. Watch him. That Chilembo fight. Nice displays of aggression in the Chilembo rematch. I'm gonna say. He can fight, but he's there to be hit. And if he gets,
He is, but I am warning people about that fight. Don't get overconfident. Joe Smith has been fighting, and why he's been looking so good is he's fighting stationary targets who aren't moving offline. Vlasov is brilliant at moving offline. Let's see how Joe does with someone who moves offline, which is what gave him problems earlier in his career. He hasn't been fighting those type of guys. When he did, it was against an amazing one in Bivol. But let's see how it goes again. Vlasov will be a good test. I think it's a great fight. I favor Joe Smith.
Underrated fight. Underrated because they don't know Vlasov. I advise anybody just watch a couple of Vlasov fights. That's gonna be a Donnybrook. That's not gonna be no.
Plus, he's big. He's big.
He's really fucking big for light heavyweight. He's really big for light. So watch that guy before the fight rolls around next year. What is it? February they got it?
Yes, sir. March, I think, February or March. Let's just say this. Light heavyweight's kind of back. Look, you've got Beterbiev going to knock the fuck out of Adam Dini's, right? Which is whatever, but it's a unified title lineal defense, right? On the same day, you've got my guy. D has the Teofimo as his guy. You've got Beck the Bully, who looks like Arthur Beterbiev and Andy Ruiz, right? Taking on Sergey Kovayev at 178 pounds in Russia. So he's actually, it won't be a drained Kovalev. It's a 178 Kovalev. That's fantastic. He's only 6-0. What a fight that is. And then you've got Joe Smith Jr. versus Vlasov. That's beautiful.
That's a good fucking fight, man. That Beck to me, Cole, that's a good fucking fight, man. Because I mean, it's possible. It's not outside the realm of possibility that Kovalev calls upon his boxing to win the fight. Yeah, like, he don't gotta go in there looking for the knockout. This kid's 6-0.
Yeah.
I will say this: that kid can box, though, Julius. He can box. Even if he uses his boxing skills, it's not a formality that he can actually outbox Beck. That's the thing. Beck has some of the best feet you'll see, and I know D knows that. Yeah, he's watched enough of him. His feet are frightening, man. He's got a very big foot speed advantage over Kovalev.
Here's the problem I have with the fight. I was happy with Beck campaigning at super middleweight because I felt he could shake shit up a year from now. If he wins this fight, he don't go back down there.
Who knows what happens, Julius? But let's just say this. I get that that's a problem for you, but also keep into account this is a monstrous crossroads fight. Monstrously crossroads. It's beautiful.
He beats Kovalev. He beats Kovalev. He stays at 75.
Let me ask you guys this question. No matter what he does, no matter what most people do next year, if he goes and he beats Kovayev next year, is he prospect of the year straight off the bat? No. That's a huge win. No. That's huge.
My prospect of the year is Virgil. It's Virgil.
No, I'm talking next year. If
Oh,
he
next
if he
year.
beats
All right,
if he
all right.
beats Kovalev, who's gonna outdo that as a prospect?
It's
Yeah,
too soon to tell. Too
you
soon
got
to tell.
yeah. Because what if? Okay, now this is just assumption, or could happen, maybe not. But what if Boots Ennis say gets a fight with Ugas for that vacant title, and then he fights Crawford next year and wins?
Ooh.
Prospect
But
of the
then
year.
at the end of the year, he'd be in the fighter of the year. He wouldn't be a prospect; he'd be a champion.
Yeah. Like, and that's the other thing. If Boots gets a major title and he's in that conversation, because Manny's gonna retire next year, bro. Like he is.
Yeah.
I can't see him going into 2022 still boxing. I can't. He said he's gonna run for president in 2022. So he can't be boxing and doing that shit. This upcoming year is his last year. He's probably gonna vacate the WBA. Ugas is gonna get elevated. If Boots were to fight him and beat him, Spence fights Boots. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you this, Julius.
Boots is green. Boots is greener than Crawford, so I got that working for me. That Boots is greener than Crawford. I'll fight him. He's already fighting on PBC cards anyway, even though he's not an official PBC fighter.
Well, there's lots of prospects out there that can do some stuff next year. Boots, Virgil, Beck. Obviously, Beck. He's got the biggest fight so far out of all the prospects
Let me
coming
tell
up.
you something. The fight that I'm waiting for the most, Warrington, Kansu. That is what I'm waiting for. And I want that Josh Warrington from the Carl Frampton fight to show up. That's the one I want.
Hey guys, what y'all think about this? Fabio Wardley versus Jared Anderson.
Ooh, it's dope fight, but it won't happen, bro.
I understand what you made there. I love the idea. I'm with Julius. Won't happen, but it's a great fight. I love the idea of prospects fighting each other. Do you know what else? I really like? Right, and this is just for me. This is a fight that I would love to see happen. Just a prospect versus prospect. Filip Hrgović, Arslanbek Makhmudov.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I would pay money for that fight. I would actually, as an Irishman who doesn't have to pay 75 quid for a pay-per-view, I would pay 75 quid for that. I would personally.
That would be great.
I gotta ask, am I the only one who's running out of patience with Philippe? That I need to see something now, bro. Like I need to see you in a fucking fight.
Yeah.
Like I just saw Joe Joyce with Daniel Dubois. What are you doing? Who are you fighting?
That's what I want.
Previously, I've seen Joe Joyce in there. I've seen Joe Joyce in there with even Brian Jennings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing Christian Hammer versus Yoka, and I'm seeing old Johan De Hapa versus Yoka. There's only so much Eric Molina's and then Riddell Booker's I can take. I don't know what level, but like at the very least, somebody who was a good amateur as well. Even Jilly Zhang.
Come, look. If you cool to go in there with the Eric Molinas of the world, Carlos Takam ain't that big a step up that you can't fucking fight him.
He's a big step up. No, I'm sorry. He is a step up from Eric Molina because every last one of us here would have Carlos Takam rinsing.
No. But that's my point. No, that's my point. It's a step up, yes, but it's not.
It's a big step up.
You think it's a big step up?
Yes. Let me ask you an honest question. In your personal opinion, how does Carlos Takam Eric Molina go?
Molina's Takam swarms him, gets him out of there.
Beats the shit out of him, right?
Swarms him, gets him out of there.
Right, there you go. That's why it's a big step up. The level disparity is actually quite big. Carlos Takam is way better than Molina.
Fuck Molina. I say go right to Takam.
Go to Takam, man.
He's already fought Molina. Look, fuck Takam, fuck Molina. There was an offer for both fighters, Michael Hunter and Filip Hrgović. That's the fight. That's the damn fight, man.
That's the fight. No, I agree. Yeah, that's the fight. That's the fight.
I got a question. Since we're on the subject of prospects fighting each other, what do you feel about Jared Anderson versus Guido Vianello?
Anderson, the hell out of
Anderson, man.
I want to see it though. I do want to see it because that would be
top like in-house.
It'd be a good scalp. But we'll top rank put two of their prospects against each other. I don't think so.
No,
No, they're not.
that's
But
not how we do it in the States. We protect our prospects, goddammit.
listen, man, I'm telling you now, there's no way. I've seen both of these guys fight. Matter of fact, I did commentary for that ridiculous showing by Pianella. Look, man, Jared Anderson is above this guy. Like
Yeah.
he does things this guy doesn't even do, or if he even knows how to do. And you know, this kid is 19, bro.
Bruh,
So
he's going
he's
to
getting
Mm.
stronger, and he already hits hard.
Yeah.
And he's 19.
listen,
So let
man.
me
I dig it.
Jared
let
fucking Anderson in the next 3 years could be everybody's fucking problem, bro.
Let me say something real quick, right? A
Right.
lot of people were bigging up bigging up Daniel, right? Now I do believe Daniel, like raw power, may be a little bit more powerful than Jared, right?
That's
But
possible.
he is older, right? Jared has faster hands. He moves off the line. He seems to have way higher fitness because this dude throws hundreds of punches and doesn't stop until the dude's out of there. He knows how to move his head off of the line. His feet are quicker. He changes his angles. He is more complete. He is younger. And quite frankly, if he's got a chin, which is really hard to have a heavyweight because all these dudes can knock each other out. But if he's got a solid enough chin and he works on it enough, I think he'll be the next big American heavyweight.
Look,
I really believe that.
Future is bright, man.
Second wave is. Look at what the second wave is. The second, forget Joshua and Fury because I'm sick of talking about them. And Wilder. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of Wilder. I'm sick of them.
Preach.
Think about the second wave. The second wave is Jared Anderson. The second wave is Philippe Hergovic. The second wave is Tony Yoka, Arslanbek Makhmudov. Alan Babic is in there because it'll be a while before he's ready to fight for a title. He could get beat before that happens. But the
Fabio
second
Wardley.
wave, Fabio Wardley, the second wave is a motherfucker, dog. That it's gonna be.
There's a lot of names. Like there really is. Like he didn't mention Ivan Doichko, guys. Like there's so many people out there. Even Jalalov will be coming through. We've seen the debut of Justice Hooney debuting a 10th rounder and win the Australian title. He's a beautiful fighter.
That motherfucker could be a problem. Yo, dog.
He reminds me of he's quite a bit like Parker, man. Like you've got Arslanbek Makhmudov, you've got Hergovic, you've got Yoka, Joyce is getting on, so he won't be part of that second wave. He'll be 40 by the time a lot of these come through. Jared Anderson, who knows what will happen with Daniel?
Can I tell you something, Mark? Can I tell you something? I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
If next year we get, keep Joseph Parker out of the world title conversation for a second for me. Just do that. Forget that, bro. You ain't even in that conversation. You know what you could do for me? You can fight Justice Hooney. In the biggest battle down under of New Zealand versus Justice is from Australia, right?
That's right. I'm going to tell you this. I know you want to see that, right? There's no way Justice Hooney team allowed that fight to happen. And I'm going to tell you what. One, yes, he's turned pro, but he's going to the Olympics, right? He's still going to the Olympics in 2021. If he picks up silver or gold, they're going to market the shit out of him in Australia. And there is a very good chance that he can get silver or gold. After that, it'll be a 2-year process. Because keep in mind, Justice Hooney is younger than Daniel Dubois. He's 21.
Yeah, he's a young kid, man.
He looks 36, but he's 21.
He can fight, though. He can fight.
Is it just me, or am I the only one who feel Tony Yoka don't even really belong in this conversation?
In what capacity, D?
Because I don't see, like, when I look at the guys surrounding Yoka, this is just me looking at his performance. I see those guys moving ahead of him. I'm being one of those guys that just can't get over that hump.
I'm gonna say this.
Like a Danny Garcia at 147. Like
No. I'm gonna say this, D. I'm gonna say this, D. To be fair, and a lot of what I'm about to say is because of who's handling him. I trust Jay Prince. I trust Top Rank to get the best out of this fighter because that's what he is. He's a top rank fighter. He just hasn't debuted under the banner yet. Jay Prince is managing him, and I trust them to get. I like how he's moving. That he's fighting these kind of guys faster than most everybody else fought them. You didn't have to go in there with Christian Hammer. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to go in there with Duop.
That is quite early. That is quite early. You know what I mean? Like for him to be in the program, like he's still getting used to the amount of stamina he needs, which was an issue for him even as an amateur. I do think he belongs in the conversation of the elite prospects at heavyweight, but for me, he's kind of like number 5 or 6. That's just for me.
Yeah, like I cut him slack because, and once again, I'm not trying to turn this into a Wilder conversation. I'm really not. But look at Wilder, right? Were you fighting Christian Hammers at that stage in your career? No, wasn't. You wasn't fighting them kind of world level journeymen that they're tough. They're gonna fight back. You wasn't fighting them kind of guys.
He fought the Hobbits, right?
That's another one.
But he fought the Harper as a title defense, just as Tony Yoke is doing it as with 8-9 fights.
You gotta give him credit, man.
He's the French AJ.
No, I'm gonna say this. Estelle didn't win that fight. I don't know if y'all saw it, but she didn't win that fight. For those who did, Estelle didn't win that fight, but it's all right.
That was another brutal scorecard.
Are you talking about Tony Yoka's wife?
Yep, Estelle.
Yeah, she got wrecked.
Yeah, I did blow by blow on that fight. That was
she lost.
That was good.
I'll
forgive
it because I don't want to. I don't believe you should throw the whole fighter away. But she didn't win that fight, man. She didn't win that fight.
She got crazy holes in her game too.
Yeah.
I don't know. She looks a little flat. I mean, I hope she can fix it. Marlena Esparza fixed it, so there's hope. She fixed it after childbirth. You know, so it's hope that you know what, you could clean it up. Just need a little bit more time, a little bit more fights. Let's hope she cleans it up. But she didn't win that fight, man. That French girl, that Emma Gongora girl was getting in her ass, B. Getting it all in her ass.
She beat her, bro.
Yo, just want to say something right now. I'm watching a fight in a Russian card. Hassan Boy Dusmatov is in action. For anyone who doesn't know, Olympic gold medalist, 108-pound prospect. He's absolutely destroying dude right now. He already dropped him.
The Russians be having some fucking cards, man. They'll have like 16 motherfuckers fighting, man. I seen a fucking card that looked like a goddamn rap sheet. It was like an all-day card, dog. Like it was like I don't know how many fights was on that fucking.
Well, Dusmatov is beating dude up, man. This is an oh my god, dude's down again. They waved it off. Left hook. Dusmatov is an elite, like I'm talking a super elite prospect, man. Dusmatov is dangerous. Future world champion. Watch out for him.
But all right, gentlemen, I'm gonna wrap up this live and go eat some fucking lunch. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope you get what you wanted this year. And I'll talk to you guys later on.
Merry Christmas. Yoga.
Peace out. Happy holidays.